Hey guys, David Hughes, Theater Advice again. Today we're going to talk about projectors. I'm only going to talk about 3 projectors because really the only 3 I like. If you guys ever want me to review one or something like that in the future, I can call the company and ask them or whatever. But I'm a big 3 guy. So that's Epson, Sony, JVC. We're going to talk about all the things that clients come in here with their concerns, the stuff that they see on YouTube before they come in here, which is why I started the YouTube channel in the first place, etc. So first thing is value. The value will be Epson all day long. The reasoning is this: they're far brighter, okay? And I know that people say, oh, when brightness goes up, contrast goes down, and all this stuff, and part of that's true. But the bottom line is, because I believe so much in screen technology, which I've talked about in multiple videos already, I already start with a good screen. So, on a white screen in a dark velvet room, sure, Sony's going to be the best, but it's not always the best because the room's not always the best for that, okay? So we're going to talk about those things, the hierarchy, and what I think's worth the money, and all of that stuff. We're going to cover it, and let's go. First thing we're going to do is Epson. So you've got the big players in Epson are, of course, going to be the 4050 and the LS12000. Both of them I have in this room. One of them's on. I'm not going to turn the other one on. The 4050 is a great projector. It's not as bright, but it's still very, very bright. It's a great projector. It's $2,300, no better value. Comes with a bulb, or I'm sorry, oh yeah, that one does come with a bulb. Comes with a bulb, comes with a $350 mount from Chief. Comes with a cover that goes on the back and a 3-year warranty. If I didn't already say that, we're gonna circle back to it because I like warranties. Projectors break. They get messed with by lightning. There's all kinds of things that happen. The 3-year warranty is phenomenal. So, like Epson for that. Their customer service is way better than the others. They send you a box to overnight the projector back to them. They overnight you a replacement projector. We're swapping out projectors all the time for people. It's never a problem. I've been on hold with Sony tech support once for 1 hour and 45 minutes. So if Sony you're listening, fix it, okay? Because we don't like that. So Epson, I love Epson. The LS12000, super bright, almost 3,000 lumens. We're going to get to why that's important later. But almost 3,000 lumens on a good screen is going to get you this. I mean, there are 6 can lights on in this room right now, and that is slate AT, so it's not even as bright as the regular slate anyway, because it has holes in it. And it's just a phenomenal projector. So before I have him kind of zoom in and pan around this snake face, which I'm not really doing anything crazy there, this is just YouTube. I want to talk about 4K versus true 4K, all that stuff, or true 4K versus fake 4K, yada, yada, yada. Here's the deal. Your eyeballs cannot see it anyway. So I understand that some people get hung up on this true 4K thing, and that's fine. I tell clients all the time, if you're the type of person that mentally you're going to hang up on that, and you're going to think, oh, my picture's not as good because I don't have a true 4K projector, and that's going to bother you, buy a Sony. It's 1,900 lumens instead of almost 3,000. It's $1,000 more. The glass is better. The picture's technically better, so the room needs to be super dark for that to happen, of course, because of the brightness. But best of both worlds, Epson's going to win that shootout to me, really, but it's very, very close. In a dark room, I'd choose the Sony, I guess. It's a great projector. It is true 4K, not that it matters, because your eyeballs are not going to see that. But it's a phenomenal projector. The way that Epson does it, on the 4350, they use old school pixel shift. It's in like many generations. It's really, really good. Basically, they take the pixels and they shake them or move them around at a point where you're seeing 4K, even though the chip is a 1080p chip. That's the beginning of it. The way that the LS12000 does it is a more advanced version. So they actually put all 8 million pixels on the screen at the same time. That's a really big deal. You are getting 4K then. The chip isn't 4K, but you're seeing 8 million pixels. So as we kind of look at this snake, I pull the picture up for clients all the time. I don't know how close he wants to get to it, and I don't know if it'll matter, because I'm telling you it looks good right here, and I'm 36 inches away at 150, 150-inch images. So is the Sony as good? Absolutely it's as good, but that's the point. It's as good, right? There are some things in their system that's a little better, but there's things Epson does better too. It is what it is. To get to the lumens of the Epson LS12000 in Sony's range, you have to spend $25,000. So $25,000, I'm trying to get my snake back. Where'd my snake go? Come on, snake. All right. So to get to that lumen level, you got to get to $25,000. So here's the proof, right? Sony knows that's important. They know lumens are important too. You're paying for it. $25,000 gets you to 3,000 lumens in Sony's world. Is that a badass projector? Absolutely. If I had 25 grand kicking around that I didn't spend on subwoofers and other crazy things you've seen in my room, I'd put a Sony in there. They're probably the best projector of the three. Now, Sony's sweet spot right in the middle, $12,000. The Sony 6000 ES. It's 2,500 lumens, so now you're getting darn close to Epson brightness with Sony's quality video processing, lenses, all that stuff. If you have $12,000, you should buy that projector. It is the best projector on the market, in my opinion, for value overall, if money doesn't kind of matter that much. Just overall value. I think they pack a lot in there at that price range. The reason for the lumens, by the way, because people always give Epson a hard time, okay? They're like, why don't they come out with a 4K chip? I've asked them this myself. The reason that they don't have a 4K chip is that they do. They do have a 4K chip. They don't use it because when they try to push light through it, they know lumens because they do all these shootouts all the time. They try to push light lumens through it, and they cannot get light output through that chip because the pixels are so small. Sony found this out too. The reason they get away with it, or how they get around it, is $25,000. So if you have $25,000, you can get 3,000 lumens in true 4K. Yay. Most people don't have 30 grand to throw at their video. So circle back to real life where clients are like, hey, I got 15 grand, right? That's an LS12000, a nice screen, and a nice audio system. And that's kind of those budgets I was talking about in my theater for 10K video, you know, as I was talking about getting closer to that 15,000 mark, because now you're starting to get into the nicer stuff that you're going to like a lot more, okay? So, you know, JVC, let's talk about JVC for a second. They've got 4 projectors in their lineup. One is $6,000. It is not laser, so, you know, these days, $6,000 not to get a laser, go Sony or Epson. So, you know, that's. But if you need true 4K, well, let's only talk about Sony versus JVC. Then you get into the $12,000 mark. That's equivalent to the NZ7 in the JVC line for $11,000. Similar projectors. I give Sony a little bit of an edge, and I didn't always. JVC, I think, used to make a better projector. But I think the Sony, just their video processing and that Carl Zeiss lens they use, same lens I'm pretty sure I'm being shot at right there, is just a phenomenal piece of equipment. They've always used, you know, the best glass in the world, and it does show. That's, you know, they're great projectors. JVC is going to be a little more tweaky in my experience. So you're going to dive into a little bit deeper ISF menus. You can really geek out and nerd out, but that's not what my videos are all about. I'm talking to clients and not audio video enthusiasts. I'm never going to make those videos, by the way. I know about all that stuff. I promise my knowledge is there. I don't care. Neither do my clients. So there's plenty of videos out there that geek out on graphs and, you know, all sorts of color gamuts and shit you stick on the TV and whatever. I don't want to deal with it. So the bottom line is, for a client, those are the price breaks. 2300, best projector on the market is 4050. You start getting into the laser. Sony and LS12000 are right there neck and neck. You know, you can go either way. If you want to turn the lights on a little more like we have here, Epson's going to win that battle. In a dark theater, go Sony. You'll be happier because it's true 4K and it's not going to bother your brain about it. When you start getting into, you know, the higher marks, yeah, absolutely buy the Sony. You know, buy the 6000 ES. It's just a phenomenal projector. I'm actually thinking about maybe changing out my LS12000 for it. You know, I'm still going to lose some light, and you know what? I'm going to be sad about it. I'm going to spend $12,000. I'm going to be sad about light loss because I do game in my theater and do all these other things in my theater, you know, with the lights on a lot of times or with the lights half on. So it's going to bother me, and to spend that much money to be bothered by anything kind of sucks. But that's, you know, that's my breakdown on projectors. For you know, best projector in the world, Sony. Second best, kind of Epson for value. And then JVC, you know, is it's kind of in the mix. It's not that I don't like it or anything like that. We don't sell as much of it just because Sony's such a heavy player right now and kind of frog leaped them. Epson will always have my heart because I just love brightness. On a good screen, black diamond slate, throw a bunch of light at it, you get this for a lot less money. I like value too, you know. I've got an $80,000 theater at home and I've got an LS12000 in there because it's the best value. I didn't feel like putting a $12,000 theater or projector in that room. Last thing I want to talk about is high-end commercial lasers. I use them in theaters all the time. you're getting into the 5, 6, 8, and 12,000 lumen world, okay? Although if you go past 10,000 lumens, I don't know if you know this, you can't own or buy it unless you get FDA clearance. I actually had to get FDA clearance to sell the last $88,000 10,000 lumen Sony projector. It is a beast and it is phenomenal. I probably won't do an actual review on it. If you can buy an $88,000 projector and a MAD VR, you should do it. Knock yourself out. I have full support. It's amazing, but again, 10,000 lumens, right? It's amazing because it's bright. So we always come back to that Epson conversation. As we come out here, Epson has a projector. It's $8,000. I sell it all the time. I sell it. Just to throw some color up on there. Now, granted, this is a black diamond screen, but the way that I tell people is like, look, if you want the best of projection video, period, and you don't need bigger because the true black diamond stops at a 120. But if you don't need larger than a 120 and you want the best video possible, you're like, David, I want a projector that looks like a TV. Congratulations, this is it. Black diamond and a 6,000 lumen laser projector. You're only going to get that stuff in the commercial range. They are working on some sort of residential type super bright laser projector, I believe. Don't know the price of it or anything like that yet, but I know they're working on it because these are so successful. In my biggest theaters, in the last 2 theaters I won Home of the Year for the last 2 years, both of them have this projector in it. And it's just because at those screens, both are 170. At that big, you want to open up that iris and get that big picture. Those are both slate screens, of course, both acoustically transparent, just like my house. But you throw 6,000 lumens at it, and it's just absolute magic. The only reason that projector is not at my house right now is because it doesn't fit in the hole you saw in the last video, or it would be there. So brightness is always going to win. I mean, you're getting so much brightness across this area right here on a black diamond. 1.4 gain with 6,000 lumens on it. It's just absolute magic, and everybody should do it. So that's my last projector to kind of throw in there, or allow them to throw their hat in. I hope that you like these videos. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel so that you know when new content comes out. And as always, comment if needed. Hopefully less haters or something like that as we go through the deal. But I always know I'll have them. And hope to see you soon. Thanks, guys.